Hello, thank you so much for tuning in again. This is Syreta Talks, and I want to kick off this rebrand and the change that I've made from survivalist tactics by actually talking a little bit about myself and what got me to where I am at now. And there was a lot of rough times. As everyone that's been following along knows, I was incarcerated for 14 and a half years. And I've only been able to be a member of the free world now since September of 2022. So this journey started in 2008 as an incarcerated person, and then later becoming a formerly incarcerated person. Thank you so much. I want to start by talking about being too comfortable and how being too comfortable can lead you down a path that you were not meant to take. It can limit you because you don't want to change. You're comfortable with what you're doing, and being too comfortable can even get you killed. So I'll start by talking about a decision that I made when I was 19 years old, and it was a bad decision. I remember I had just had my son, and my mom said, "Why don't you go downtown? They're hiring at AT&T, and you can get a good job there." So I was excited about it, and I didn't have good transportation, which is, it's a big obstacle, along with an infant. I had a small child. He was 6 weeks old the first day I started the job. So the job was in Kansas City, Missouri, and I lived close to downtown Kansas City, Kansas. So I would walk to this bus stop. It was probably a good 20 minutes, take the bus to AT&T, which was downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Now, here is the issue. I did not have a ride home because I worked 3 to 11 and there was no bus going back there. So I was just, stepping out on faith, and I had started this great job, and you go through a training process. So I'd met some friends in training, and I was taking a cab. My stepfather would, when he could, come pick me up and give me a ride. So I'm trying. I have goals that I've set, continuing at this great job, being a good parent, all the things. I was young, and I did not want to be the statistic single teenage parent, even though, I was a little older in the teens, thank God. So I was, getting to the bus stop, getting a ride home, and I had this person that I kind of grew up with and gotten into trouble with in the past, but she had changed her life around, and she had this good job at AT&T too. So, about 6 months go by. This is the best job I've had. I'm 19 years old. And she says, "Girl, let's go down to the strip club and get a job." And I'm like, all right. It didn't even cross my mind that this was, morally adverse to how I'd been brought up. But I'd been, so far away from that lifestyle. I had a child now. And, I said, "Hey, well, let's go. Let's see what's going on." And the first day I'd made a lot of money, and I was like, okay. And, I had some influences that didn't have my best interest at heart. That happens. Sometimes people don't even know that they're being used for a purpose that is eventually going to manifest later on down the line in a bad way. So I don't blame anyone else. I realize it all started with that decision. Hey, as Huckleberry Finn said in the book, throw caution to the wind. Well, I threw caution to the wind. So, after a couple weekends, I'm still working Monday through Friday, and some people were like, "You make your paycheck in a day, and, you're doing pretty good. You've just started this. Maybe you should quit your job." So once more, bad decisions. Now, I should have been comfortable with the job that I had at AT&T, making decent money and a good wage for the year that it was. It was a really good wage. That was a really good job. But fast money. And, nobody who's ever been in adult entertainment talks about the slow nights when you don't have the money that you're used to, how you're, scamming and thinking about, oh, well, I could call this client and maybe he'll come back. And they don't talk about all that. All you think about are the highs, when you left with so much money and you were doing so good. So, there were bad times there too. Regardless, the series of decisions. So now I knew that there were quick ways to make money, that you didn't have to, work those long hours at AT&T, which weren't that long, and I had my own little cubicle, which I was so excited about at first. Now, I work on a stage, I take off my clothes, I talk and I know that there's a scripture and it says, the woman that changes her words to become smooth. And I used to think about that. I did. I think about, everything about me was so worldly and just totally adverse to the way I'd grown up. But I was okay with it because I was comfortable with now basically being lazy and expecting the money to come to me. So now I'm 19, 20, 21, and I've met some people, and I just keep going back and forth to this lifestyle. At this point, I just feel like I can't work a straight job. I can't be a square. Let me tell you, in hindsight, I sure wish I would have kept that straight job, and I sure wish I would have been comfortable being a square. Because all that fast life and all that fast money led me to being sentenced to 17 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections. Now that's a little bit farther down the line. So I started realizing, because I was young and spunky, that didn't change, but the youth did, that I could entertain people, basically escort, same thing as prostitution, and get money. So now I'm not even going to the club, every once in a while. And now I'm selling my body, but I feel like I'm in control. I feel like it's going to be just fine. Like, I don't mind what I'm doing, and I'm lazy. I'm comfortable. I'm complacent. All those goals and ambitions that I had, I want to be a good mom. Well, now I'm falling off. My son was my best friend. He was my little homie, and we went everywhere together and did everything. But slowly, because now I'm in this lifestyle, this adult entertainment lifestyle, I'm hooked on drugs. All those goals, ambitions, they fell to the wayside. Everything that I didn't even have a plan. And I remember thinking back, during the time that I was incarcerated, I wouldn't even know what day it was. I couldn't tell you what month things happened. I was just so caught up in this lifestyle. I was comfortable, I was complacent, and I was lazy. I didn't want to go and put forth the effort to go get a job and wait on a paycheck when I could get that instant payout. That instant payout. So that led me into relationships where I became completely dependent on the other person. And I just think to myself, how did I believe or think in my mind that would be something productive, that would end up in love, that would somehow end up in, as they say, the white picket fence? Because I just imagine, I would get with some guy, he would take care of me. Where was I at in this? I've always been smart. I've always had, things that could have went well for me. But through my decision making and having this mindset that, not the world owed me anything, but men did, that they were going to take care of me, that I didn't need to take care of myself. So I got involved with the wrong people. And I think back that I was really naive. I thought I knew what was the next step, what was going to happen, and I had no clue. None at all. So this is the first podcast that I'm doing by myself because I just really wanted to take some time and speak to the people who so graciously listen to me and tell them where it started, and we'll finish this. Thanks for listening. Bye.